I'm gonna need each and every single one of you guys and girls to just write this down real quick. Um, it's a quick quote that I kind of came up with on the spot, but it's gonna help you. It's actually gonna help you. It's helped me. It's helped a couple of some of my friends actually, and a lot of my clients actually. This is one of those things you got to write down. This is one of those things you got to implement mentally, and it has a lot to do with working backwards, right? Because when we want to move forward, most of us at least, we want to move in a direction where we see positivity on the other end, right? That's why we're moving forward. You know what I mean? But what I noticed for myself and for so many other people that it's like hard to just move forward and actually succeed moving forward, staying consistent moving forward, and actually going closer to what you actually want to achieve, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to grow muscle, change your physique. So today I'm going to be running you through a simple tip that I use for myself, and I've also recommended it to other people in the past that they should do in order to move forward and actually see success in whatever it is that they aspire to do, anything that they aspire to achieve. All right, so let me know how your day's going, people, guys and girls. What is up? What's happening? Tyson, I see you, bro. We got a natural nomad in the house. What is up? What's cracking? Pat, what's good? Sophie, what's good? Oscar, what's up? CL, Freddie, what's good? I appreciate y'all on TikTok too. What's up? What is happening? I appreciate the love, people. All right, so we're gonna dive into today's podcast. You know the normal, you know the usual. If you have any questions, drop them down at the end of the podcast recording. I'm gonna answer them, of course. And if your questions are a little bit too private, feel free to DM me and we can chat it out. Again, you don't have to air your dirty laundry out on social media. I'm here to help, and I don't want you to expose yourself in that process. Okay. So, without wasting any time, we're going to dive into the podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Natural Number. Is the number one podcast for anyone on this planet, country, or nation who wants to make amazing mental and physical natural transformation. Okay, disclaimer: I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. All right, not because I want to be mean, but because I fucking respect. Okay, so tune in. If you decide to tune in and give me the time out of your life that you know will never get back, the very least I can do for you is keep it a stack. We're not going to lie. We're not going to cap. We're just going to be authentic over here. All right. So now that that's out the way, let's chat with IFBB Pro Matt Butale. Let's get raw. All right, people. Let's dive into it. Again, for those of you that are just joining there on TikTok and other platforms, you can drop questions at any point in time throughout the live stream, and I will answer you at the end of the live stream recording. Again, if it's a little bit too private, you don't have to air it on social media in the comment section. You can just shoot me a DM. All right. So write this down. What I'm about to say is super important. I want y'all to write it down. I want you to just pay attention and really just give me the time out of your day to hear me out, because this is definitely going to help you if you struggle with moving in the positive direction with consistency. Okay. So, one thing that I noticed for myself in the past was like, okay, well, when I noticed that I was doing things that weren't bringing me to a point where like I was succeeding in the way that I wanted to, I just created lists, like to-do lists of things that were positive that would lead me to where I wanted to go. But I noticed that like after 1 week of like being consistent or a couple of days being consistent, it was just difficult to maintain that. And the reason why it was difficult to maintain was not because I don't want to succeed. Like I do want to succeed. I do want, you know, my goal at the time was, to continue to put on muscle and grow and bring the very best package that I could to my previous nationals that I competed at and won. Right. But it was a little bit difficult because not because I dreamed so big, but because I didn't have like the framework, or at least I had the framework, but I couldn't apply the framework because I wasn't in like the right mental state, if that makes sense, right? So what that means is I still had bad habits while I was trying to create and follow good habits. Is that something that you guys and girls struggle with? Let me know. All right. So I had bad habits that I was still taking part in doing, taking action on, while I wanted to create good habits and follow the good habits. Okay. So I noticed every time that I created like a to-dos list or like a game plan, an action plan to follow through something, it became a lot more difficult when I didn't actually pay attention to we'll say the negative things that were going on, the bad habits. Okay. So one way, and I want y'all to go, guys and girls to write this down. One way that this really, what I'm about to say really, really helped me was because it allowed me to just take a step back, step into reality, and understand that in order to actually move in the positive direction that I want to move in, I have to address my bad habits first. Like you can't just like suppress your bad habits or practice your bad habits as you try to strive for something, right? So what I noticed for myself was instead of creating a to-dos list like of things to do in order to succeed at growing muscle. And for you guys and girls, and maybe something else, succeed in finances, succeed in your business, succeed in burning fat, hitting that goal weight before summertime. Like instead of that, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to create a list that is opposite of that. And it's called the not to do list. Okay. So write this down, guys and girls. Write this down. Create a not to do list. It's easy to sit down and like visualize everything else that you want to do, and dream big and things of that sort. But when you start to move towards that direction, it becomes more difficult to stay consistent simply because it's kind of not who you are authentically. You're working towards being that person, but you're not there yet. And one of the major steps that are going to help you get to that point is addressing your bad habits and, cleaning that up, getting rid of your bad habits and then moving forward in that direction. That's what's going to help you. So instead of me saying, well, here's my action plan. Today I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But instead of doing that, I decided, okay, well, I know what I'm doing now that's making me move forward in that direction. Let me stop doing those things. For example, wake up in the morning super, super early. First thing you do is check your phone. Bad habit. Scratch that. Waiting, and this is something I know a lot of you guys are gonna struggle with. Waiting to find the perfect video or movie right before you eat a meal, right? And that can throw off your schedule and make you push back so many other things. And just that habit of always being in front of the TV or always consuming social media or like movies and things of that sort, TV is not a good habit, really, because it kind of wastes a lot of time. All right. There's another one, even just off the top of my head, people that drink casually or consume cannabis casually or consistently throughout the day. I'm pretty sure you'd be a lot more productive with your time, okay, and be a lot more resourceful with your time if you did not do that most of the time, if you didn't drink all the time, if you didn't get high all the time, right? So instead of creating to-dos lists of things you need to do in order to get to where you need to go, whether it's a financial thing, something related to your health and fitness, anything, look at what you're currently doing and look at what's currently keeping you in the position that you're in and start working to erase those bad habits, if anything, to subsidize them, to reduce them. Okay. Because if you can control that, then you'll notice like it just becomes inevitable. You have that much more time in the day because you're not, drinking so much, you're not getting high so much, you're not wasting time on social media scrolling throughout the day, right? And like this is honestly a really bad habit. If you wake up in the morning and you just look at your phone and start scrolling, that's pretty much what you're going to be doing most of your day. When you get any dead time, when you're on the fucking toilet, when you're anywhere else, you're driving at the red light, you're going to be scrolling around, and that's just going to make you waste more time. And then you're gonna say you're gonna be the same person saying, "Well, I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the time to do that," because you're wasting it. And I'm not saying this to be rude or anything. It's just fucking true, and I know because I've done it and I've seen people do it. And when I stopped doing it, I noticed, okay, well, my habits are aligned now, and now that my schedule's a little bit more free and it's opening up even more, I have the opportunity to fill in with things that are worth doing that are gonna like propel me in the positive direction. Does that make sense, guys and girls? Does that make sense? Okay, so the number one thing I want you to write down, or number one thing I want you to do, is to understand that you don't have to create a to-dos list in order to start moving in a forward direction. It's even better, in my opinion, to create a not to-do list, okay, and see how much you can apply yourself. See if you can actually stop doing the things that you're doing right now that are holding you back. And once you can do that, I urge you to try for 21 days to be as consistent as possible with controlling your bad habits so you can actually see the amount of time that you freed up for yourself. And then and only then, should you start looking to add more things into your day. Otherwise, it just becomes overwhelming. With your bad habits in place and trying to put yourself in a position of success, it becomes very overwhelming. And it's not even because it's difficult. It's just because your ducks aren't in a row. And the only way to get your ducks in a row is to control your bad habits, free up the time that you said you didn't have, and then once that time is free, you can now fill in the slots with things to do that are actually going to propel you towards where you want to go. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. All right. So, whatever you found most valuable in today's episode, I want you to write it down on a sticky note and actually apply it. I'm speaking to you because I want you all to take actionable value. I'm giving you actionable value. I want you to take action on what I'm telling you because it's going to help you. If you actually give a shit about your future, if you care about your life or your health or your finances or whatever big dreams you have, this is something that you're going to need. to get in check so that your success becomes inevitable and less overwhelming. Because let's face it, trying to change who we are as a person physically or mentally is not the easiest thing in the game. It's fucking difficult actually, because we're like hardwired to be who we are because we've been who we were for so fucking long. Okay, so we got to work on controlling the bad habits. And once the bad habits are out the way, we create room and space for good habits, for things that are actually worth our time. Then and only then will you be able to be consistent with your good habits and your to-dos list and propel yourself in the positive direction. All right. So that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. This is the number one podcast for anyone on the planet, country, or nation who wants to make an amazing mental and physical natural trend. All right. Don't forget to implement at least one thing, guys and girls, from this podcast. Again, information implementation is just fucking noise. All right. Again, shameless. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel, MATT space BUTALE, Matt Butale, and that'll give you a little bit of an insight to show you how I live my life outside of social media. If you want to lose 25 pounds and become a part of the Natural Nomad Academy, or if you want to gain some muscle, shoot me a DM and I'll be more than willing to help you out. Okay. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. Natural IFBB Pro Matt signing out. Boom. All right. So we didn't get any questions here. Ben, I appreciate the follow. And everybody else that tuned in on TikTok, I appreciate the 80 likes there. Fucking wicked. Hope you guys and girls actually take action on what I talked about today. Oh, Sharon says seems out of reach. I wonder what you mean by that if you're still here. Everybody else, dude, guys, girls, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I couldn't thank you enough, but I would thank you even more if you took what I'm saying and you actually applied it, because then it would actually help you. And then my time here has been served well. All right. So you know what it is. We'll be back again tomorrow with another live stream episode. Peace, yo. Have the best fucking Wednesday of your goddamn life. We out. Later, YouTube.